Hi, my dear students of ICSE Class 10. This is your English facilitator, Hemangi, on my YouTube channel of Om Educators. My intention is to facilitate your understanding and learning of the ICSE text Julius Caesar, which of course is written by William Shakespeare. Now look, whatever may be your result of class 9, if you make up your mind, if you plan your time, the time which is at your disposal, scrupulously, you will sail over the literature paper easily. For the intention of the board is always to teach and create an awareness. There is no intention to scare you. So let's begin with Act 3, Scene 1. Let's have your textbooks in front of you, and we begin with the synopsis given in your textbook. The third act provides the crisis of the play. Caesar enters the Capitol with pomp and show. He ignores the warnings given by the soothsayer. You will remember the soothsayer who has the powers of the prophets of old times, and Artemidorus. Artemidorus is just a common citizen. The conspirators crowd around Caesar in support of a petition presented by Metellus Cimber. Caesar shows his arrogance and refuses to change his decision. At this juncture, Casca stabs him, and the other conspirators follow suit. Caesar dies with the words, "A to Brute," on his lips. Subsequently, Antony makes his peace with the conspirators. Brutus gives him permission to deliver a funeral oration for Caesar. At the end of this scene, Antony prophesies blood shed and a civil war. Remember, children, that this is the climax. As far as the plot of Julius Caesar is concerned, you know that the third scene is the place where we have reached the crisis, or Act 3 is the place where we have reached the crisis, and that is the climax, the assassination of Caesar. If you want to have a detailed explanation regarding the plot or the structure, you can refer to my module 1. Now let's start with scene 1. Rome, in front of the Capitol. A crowd of people, these are the people who are entering the scene. A crowd of people, among them is Artemidorus and the soothsayer. Now you will remember that Artemidorus has been introduced to us in Act 2, Scene 3, at a street which was near the Capitol, where he waits to hand over a paper. If you remember, he was reading a piece of paper that he had handwritten for Caesar. And he said that I'm going to present it to Caesar when Caesar passes by from here. So you will remember that he waits to hand over a paper warning Caesar about the conspirators. Then enter, there is a flourish of trumpets. And of course, the soothsayer, you all will remember that he was introduced to us during Caesar's victorious procession to the Capitol. Now enter Caesar, Brutus, Cassius, Casca, Decius, Metellus, Trebonius, Cinna, Antony, Lepidus, Publius, and others. So there is a whole throng of people along with the conspirators who are all entering the Capitol. They are all in front of the Capitol. This scene is taking place in front of the Capitol. Caesar. Now Caesar to the soothsayer. The Ides of March are come. Soothsayer. Aye, Caesar, but not gone. So here if you see, Caesar does remember that the soothsayer had warned him about the Ides of March. And it is almost as if he is taunting or being sarcastic to the soothsayer and telling him, well, the Ides of March have come. So the soothsayer very politely says, Aye, Caesar, but not gone. The Ides of March are not over as yet. Means 15th of March is not over. Artemidorus. Hail Caesar, read this schedule. So now Artemidorus is a common citizen, and he is one of the people, the common citizens who like Caesar, who are in admiration of Caesar. So he says, "Hail Caesar, read this schedule." Decius, Trebonius doth desire you to overread at your best leisure this his humble suit. So as soon as Artemidorus wants to give a paper, immediately Trebonius says that Decius says, Trebonius also wants you to read this whenever you have time. Artemidorus, "O Caesar, read mine first, for mine is a suit that touches Caesar nearer. Read it, great Caesar." Now, Caesar here says, what touches us, ourselves, shall be last served. Now you will see Caesar is trying to show his magnanimity by saying that whatever touches me, I will read last. But if you notice, Shakespeare has used the word us over here. Now this is called as an anachronism. This is an anachronism which has been used in the play. That means that something that belongs to another time has been used at this point. They never used to use the word us for the first person. So Shakespeare has used, make a note, Shakespeare has used the plural of modern royalty for Caesar, which was not used in Rome at that time. So this is an example of anachronism. So what touches us ourselves shall be last served. Artemidorus, delay not, Caesar, read it instantly. Caesar, what? Is this fellow mad? Publius, Sirrah, fellow, give place. Cassius, what? Urge you your petitions in the street? Come to the Capitol. Caesar goes up to the Senate house, the rest of them following him. Publius. Now Publius is a senator, okay? So Publius, I wish your enterprise today may thrive. Cassius, what enterprise, Publius? Publius, fare you well. Advances towards Caesar. Now Publius here is a senator who is telling, he is not a conspirator, mind you, he is a senator who is telling Caesar that I hope that your enterprise thrives today. That means you succeed in your enterprise today. So Cassius immediately becomes suspicious because they have that chori na, dil mein jo chori hoti hai, wo turant bahar aa jati hai. So Cassius immediately comes out with that. What enterprise, Publius? But Publius doesn't tell him anything. He says, fare you well. Brutus, what said Publius, Lena? Cassius, he wished today our enterprise might thrive. I fear our purpose is discovered. So he really thinks, Cassius is really afraid, and he thinks that their conspiracy has been discovered and Publius has come to know of their of the plan of the conspirators, the plot that they are going to assassinate Caesar. Brutus, now see what Brutus says. Look how he makes to Caesar. Mark him. So even Brutus is now saying that yeah, he is going towards Caesar. Just see how he goes towards Caesar. Cassius tells Casca. Casca is one of the conspirators. Casca, be sudden. Sudden over here means quick. So Casca, be sudden. For we fear prevention. Prevention means we fear that we are afraid that our plan or our plot will be stopped. We may not be able to execute our plan of the assassination of Caesar. So he's saying, Casca, be sudden, be quick, because Casca is going to be the first person to stab Caesar. So he's saying, Casca, be certain, be sudden, means be quick, for we fear prevention. Brutus, what shall be done? If this be known, what is this over here? The plan to assassinate Caesar. So he's saying if this be known, means if this plan to assassinate Caesar has come to light, and if it has been known, and if we are stopped, then I will slay myself. Then, if this be known, Cassius or Caesar never shall turn back, for I will slay myself. So if Caesar does not die, or if Caesar is not killed, then I will slay myself. Brutus, Cassius, be constant, means be steady, be calm. Publius Lena speaks not of our purposes. For look, he smiles, and Caesar doth not change. So Cassius is asking, Brutus is asking Cassius that don't just get so jittery about everything. Just be cool, be calm. Take a look, at least see what is happening. He's saying, look at him. Publius Lena is talking to Caesar, and while he's talking to Caesar, he's smiling. Now, if he was telling him about our plan of killing Caesar, then obviously he would not be smiling. The fact that he is smiling means he's not telling about a plan. And furthermore, if he was talking to Caesar about a plan, there would have been some change on the face of Caesar. His expressions would have changed. But here actually, for look he smiles means Publius smiles and Caesar doth not change. So Caesar, there is no change on Caesar. There is no expression change on Caesar's face. Cassius, Trebonius knows his time. For look you, Brutus. So now Cassius is saying, yes, but Trebonius knows his time very well. See, Brutus, what is he doing? He draws Mark Antony out of the way. Means he's taking Mark Antony out of the way. Means out of Caesar's closeness. Because they know that if Mark Antony is present over there, they may not be able to succeed in their plan. Because Antony loves Caesar a lot. Okay, so he draws Mark Antony out of the way. Exeunt Antony and Trebonius. Decius, where is Metellus Cimber? Let him go and presently prefer his suit to Caesar. So now Decius is looking around and he's saying, where is Metellus Cimber? Ask him to go and tell him to tell Caesar whatever he's supposed to say. Let him present his suit. Means tell his suit what he's supposed to. Suit over here will mean petition. Suit over here means petition, not the suit that you wear. It means the petition that you're making. So he's saying, let Metellus Cimber, let him go and present his petition to Caesar. Suit is petition. Brutus, he is addressed. Press near and second him. He is addressed means he has already gone and he is talking to Caesar. So everybody come closer, gather nearer and second him. Means second his petition, second what he is saying, second the prayer that he is making to Caesar. So second his petition means agree with what he is saying. And everybody come closer and closer. Closer where? Closer to Caesar. Now this is a plan. If everybody is around Caesar, it will be easier to stab him. Okay? Caesar. Are we all ready? What is now amiss? That Caesar and his Senate must redress. So what is wrong? That I and my Senate have to put right, put correct. Most Metellus, most high, most mighty, and most puissant Caesar. Puissant means mighty Caesar. Metellus Cimber throws before thy seat a humble heart. So he's saying, before your great seat, O great Caesar, I am throwing my heart before you. And he kneels down. Caesar, I must prevent thee, Cimber. These couchings and these lowly courtesies might fire the blood of ordinary men. So he's saying, oh, Metellus Cimber, I should stop you from stooping so low and becoming so, acting in such a lowly manner. Because when you act in such a lowly manner, maybe those people who are ordinary, who are not Caesar, I am Caesar. The ordinary people might get aroused and they might get emotionally blackmailed by these lowly, humble couchings, but I won't. And turn preordinance into a first decree, into the law of children. Be not fond to think that Caesar bears such a rebel blood. That will be thawed from the true quality, with that which melteth fools. I mean sweet words. Low crooked courtesies and base spaniel fawning, thy brother by decree is banished. So now we come to the real point, that Metellus Cimber is making a petition to Caesar that his brother has been banished by Caesar by a legal decree. And he's saying, by making these courtesies, by spawning in front of me, by falling in front of me, by kneeling in front of me, don't think I'm going to melt. Because such low things melt only those people who are fools. And your brother has been banished by a legal decree, which I am not going to change. If thou dost bend and pray and fawn for him, I spurn thee like a cur out of my way. He's saying, if on behalf of your brother you are bending and fawning me and sort of agar tu mere ko maska maar raha hai, if you are bending and fawning me, then I spur thee like a cur. Like a cur means I am just ignoring you. I just throw you out of my sight like I would throw a stray dog out of my way. मतलब मैं तेरे सामने देखूंगा भी नहीं. No Caesar, no, Caesar doth no wrong, nor without a cause will he be satisfied. So he's saying, please know that Caesar never does wrong to anybody, and without knowing a proper cause, Caesar will never be satisfied. So you have to give me a proper cause that why your brother should be forgiven. Unless you give me a cause, I will not be satisfied. So now Metellus is saying, is there no voice more worthy than my own to sound more sweetly in great Caesar's ears for the repealing of my banished brother? So Metellus is saying, he's looking around and he's probably saying, is there nobody else who can speak for my brother instead of just me talking? Now Brutus is saying. Now Brutus was a very close friend of Caesar, and Caesar trusted Brutus a lot, and he was a very close friend of Caesar. So Brutus bends down and he says, I kiss thy hand, but not in flattery, Caesar, desiring thee that Publius Cimber may have an immediate freedom of repeal. Freedom of repeal means to be able to return from the exile. Publius Cimber is Metellus Cimber's brother. So because Metellus has requested, or because he has made an appeal to the crowd that if Caesar is not happy with my voice, isn't there anybody else in the crowd who can speak up for my brother? So immediately the person, like he had said, Brutus had said that we need to second him. So as soon as he says that, he says, oh, I kiss thy hand, but it's not in flattery that I'm kissing you, but I'm telling you that please have an immediate freedom to Publius Cimber to return from his exile. Caesar. What? Brutus? Cassius. Pardon, Caesar. Caesar, pardon. As low as to thy foot doth Cassius fall. Now what is he saying, Cassius? That, oh Caesar, I beg of you, please pardon him, pardon him. I fall at your feet to beg an enfranchisement for Publius Cimber. He's saying, please, I beg of you, give him the right to be a free citizen and let him come back. Now this speech of Caesar's is very important. So I would like to read it first and then we will explain. Please mark it as an important speech. I could be well moved if I were you. That means, if I were you, he's telling Cassius that if I were you, I would be moved. Moved by what? By these lowly courtesies of begging and falling at my feet and praying. But I could be well moved if I were you. If I could pray to move, prayers would move me. Means Caesar is saying that if I pray to the gods, that please, and I try to move God through my prayer, then prayers would move me. But I am constant as the northern star. Means just as the northern star, the pole star, which we call as a Dhruv Tara, and here it's a pole star, the northern pole star. But I am constant as the northern pole star, of whose true, fixed and resting quality there is no fellow in the firmament. He's saying the northern pole star is fixed in its position. So Caesar is comparing himself to the northern star in the skies, in the firmament. He says every star moves, but the northern pole star never moves. And he's saying, I am like that northern pole star. The skies are painted with unnumbered sparks. They are all fire, and everyone doth shine. So the sky has got a lot of fiery sparks, means stars. So the skies are painted with unnumbered sparks, and they are all fire. They all have got fire in them, and all the stars shine. It's not that one shines and one does not shine. All the stars shine. But there is one in all that doth hold his place. There is only this one, that is the northern pole star, which holds his place. So it is in the world. It is furnished well with men. So it is in this entire world, which is furnished, which has a lot of men around him. The world is filled with lot of men. And all men are flesh and blood and apprehensive. Apprehensive over here means intelligent. In Shakespearean type, apprehensive meant intelligent. So he's saying, so in the world, it is furnished well with men, and men are flesh, blood, and apprehensive. That means intelligent. Yet in the number of these all, I know but one, that is unassailable, who holds his rank, who holds his position, who is unshaked of motion, and that I am he. Let me a little show it even in this. So he's saying, if I consider myself to be unshakable, unmoved, and firm in the firmament, let me show this in this one little episode. Let me show a little of it even in this, that I was constant, Simba should be banished, and constant do remain to keep him so. So I remain, he has been banished, I remain constant, that I will not forgive him, and he will remain banished. Cinna, O Caesar, Caesar, hence wilt thou lift up the Olympus? So Caesar is saying Olympus is a mountain in Greece. Please mention that. I hope you'll know it. It's a it's a mountain in Greece, and which was a home to the gods. So he's saying, now Caesar is comparing himself to, Caesar is saying, hence wilt thou lift up Olympus? So Caesar is comparing himself to Mount Olympus, where the a mountain of Greece, where the which was a home of gods. Okay, so he's saying, I'm as unshakable as Mount Olympus. So we have seen Caesar has given two comparisons. First, he compares himself to the northern pole star, and now he's comparing himself to Mount Olympus. So Cinna, O Caesar, Caesar, hence means shoo, go away. Will thou lift up Olympus? Can you think of lifting mountain Olympus? Decius, great Caesar. So Caesar, doth not Brutus bootless kneel? Bootless means in vain. Bootless over here means in vain. So he's saying, Brutus, do you not want to kneel in vain? Casca, speak hands for me. And they stab Caesar. So just because Caesar has done all this, immediately Casca is the first person to stab him, and he says, speak hands for me. And he stabs Caesar. At that time, Caesar just turns and he sees Brutus, and he is shocked at the unfaithfulness of Brutus. And the last words that he says is, A to Brute, then fall Caesar. So it just shows that Caesar actually died more due to the unfaithfulness of Brutus. And that was the last emotion in him, where he says, A to Brute, then fall Caesar. So I think with the fall of Caesar, we will stop over here. And in my next module, I'll continue from here. Thank you so much, and see you again. Hope you have enjoyed my video. And if you found this useful, please do share it with other people of your class, with your friends, so that even they could benefit by this explanation. Thank you. Goodbye and happy learning.